Common question, what exercises can I do if I can't back squat? So the back squat is a really good exercise. However, some people might find it difficult to perform and they also need necessary equipment. So if you're training at home, trying to haul the bar onto your back is really, really difficult. So what we will do is talk through some variations that you can use. So for demonstration purposes, here's the back squat. We're actually using an easy bar or EZ bar for English folk instead of a barbell. So if we do a couple of slow reps. So the back squat is excellent for loading up the exercise. However, it's really difficult to get it into position if you're not in a commercial gym. Some people might find that a front squat is more comfortable mobility-wise. So because the weight is in front, it allows people to counterbalance a little bit more and stay more upright. So some people that have restricted ankle mobility find this a little bit more comfortable than the back squat, which tends to push their weight forward. This one counterbalances to allow you to stay more upright. So the front squat is different biomechanically. It's great if you're in the gym because you can put on small plates and utilize progressive overload easily. However, if you're doing this at home, it isn't safe unless you have appropriate equipment. So we will regress this equipment-wise and demonstrate the same front squat exercise, but using kettlebells. So the weight is in the same position as it was before, and because it's in front of the neck, it allows people to stay a little bit more upright. So for some people, they will find that when they're going down, they can stay more upright on this than they can on a back squat. But of course, not everyone has kettlebells at home, so you can also utilize a dumbbell front squat. Again, same position, same technique, but probably more common from an equipment perspective. Let's say you don't feel comfortable front squatting, maybe mobility-wise or safety-wise or whatever. Now, what I like to use as a stepping stone to that is something called the dumbbell goblet squat. So you only need one dumbbell, you hold it up in front of you, and I think this is a very easy stepping stone to kind of master the squat pattern. Now, the downside to this is you can't use a lot of load relative to an actual front squat or a back squat. So it possibly isn't as good for developing the legs, but for practicing technique, a lot of people will find it very, very comfortable. Tends to be much easier to go low than on a back squat, and a really easy way to practice the squat if you're not sure what you're doing. So another slight variation, this is sometimes used if people have piss poor ankle mobility. So if you don't get much dorsiflexion, i.e. the knees going over the toes, you might find yourself leaning forward. Now what you can use kind of as a band-aid is a heel elevation, which allows your knees to travel further forward over the toes, which will then facilitate your torso being more upright. So you can use this as a starting point if you don't feel very comfortable on the other variations. So the goblet squat can be a great stepping stone to learning the squat pattern. But as you get stronger and more competent at the movement, you might find that the limiting factor is actually your upper body holding the heavier dumbbell in position. So if you're comfortable with the squat pattern, what you can do is do a dumbbell squat holding it at the sides, and you don't have to worry about how difficult it is holding the dumbbell in front of you. So it might be a little bit easier to load as you want to go heavier. So let's say you've tried all of these and you think that all of them still feel awkward as fuck. Maybe mobility wise, maybe you have one leg stronger than the other, or an imbalance, or whatever it is. If you're not sure where to start, you can use an easier stepping stone and just start with a single leg version. So if you do a split squat, we're looking at the same mechanics on the front leg as something that will mimic a back squat. So you can practice this movement to go to the same degree of knee flexion. Start here before progressing up into the goblet squat version. So depending on what equipment you have available and your own personal biomechanics, you can start with the easiest stepping stone and then progress your way up from there.